and our guy Brian Baldinger to help us continue to break down this Broncos schedule, make predictions, and there he is. Baldy, my friend, how you doing?
I'm great, guys. I'm great. Good to be with you. Excited like everybody else to see the final schedule, but just to see the leaks and some of the international games, some of the things that's going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Baldy, we know the Broncos are heading overseas, playing in London against the Jets. They're also playing Christmas night on prime time against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Baldy, there's people in the Broncos building that believe that game, Week 17, the entire AFC could be up for grabs there with the 1 seed on the line. Is that a little too much confidence from the Broncos thinking that they could be in that position Week 17? Or from an outsider's perspective and a neutral perspective like you are, could you see the Broncos being in such a position where the number 1 seed could be up for grabs in that game?
Well, I mean, the Broncos were 10-7 last year. The Chiefs were 15-2. I mean, it's a big jump. But, I mean, if you don't have a field goal blocked, at the end of the game, you probably beat the Chiefs last year. It's a little bit closer than that. I mean, if they make any kind of a similar jump from what they made last year with a rookie quarterback, who you got to believe is going to be better this year, then yes. I mean, I think when the schedule makers are looking at games like that on Christmas night, they're looking at a division game, a game that might decide the division. I mean, I think whatever their AI tools are to put this thing together, I think they're factoring all those things in right now.
It's incredible. I'm going to go away from the schedule talk, Baldy, because I only get to talk to you once in a while. I was looking at this. Obviously, the offensive line for Denver went through a bit of a transformation in pass pro a year ago, where they're coming off a 45-sack season under Russell Wilson and give up almost half of that, 24 times Bo was sacked last year. What was the key beyond the quarterback play, maybe, to that transformation, and where's this O-line rank for you among the best in the league?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I believe they started almost every game together, so they got a chance to play.
Right.
So I think the continuity, and so we didn't know about Wattenberg coming in there. There was a competition at center. He took it over. He solidified that position. He upgraded the position from what they had. Cushenberry and different guys they've had in there. I thought he upgraded it. Quinn has been a stud. Garrett has, I mean, they recognized his value and they rewarded him. So I think it's part of that. I think Bo Nix sees the field a whole lot better than the guys before him. And, Russell's always been sacked a lot. He got sacked a lot in Pittsburgh, got sacked a lot in Seattle. He just doesn't see the field the way a taller guy does. And then I think Bo Nix, his escapability was noticeable. I mean, he ran for 4 touchdowns last year. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry. He made a difference, too, in just rescuing plays when there was quick pressure. So I think it's a combination of everything. And I just think the passing game got increasingly better as the season went on. I remember distinctly talking to you guys the first 2 weeks, wondering if they're ever going to complete a pass to a wide receiver. Well, I mean, it took a while to kind of get that going. But, once they did, I mean, they all contributed. So I think it's a combination of all those things. But typically, I mean, Sean does such a great job of programming his quarterbacks. Drew Brees was never sacked a great deal. I think Zach Strief does a great job up front. Knows the system, played in the system with Sean, kind of knows things. I think he helped and made a difference last year at that, important offensive line position.
Baldy, one of my favorite things on the entire internet is your Baldy's breakdowns. And you had a Baldy's breakdown yesterday, breaking down RJ Harvey, and you said something incredible, and it just makes so much sense. Tackling RJ Harvey is like trying to grab Jell-O. It just slips out of your hand. And I mean, you had some awesome clips of him just literally slipping out of guys' hands. And it just got me even more fired up for the type of player that RJ Harvey could be. What is his ceiling in a Sean Payton type of offense? Because he talked about how he was watching film in rookie minicamp with Sean Payton about Darren Sproles, with Alvin Kamara, and he said he wants to be better than those guys, which is, I mean, the floor for Alvin Kamara with Sean was 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns. That's what he averaged. Can he be that type of player?
Well, I think I used to kind of joke to Kamara, like he was like a cat on a marble table. Like you just couldn't get his feet, you just couldn't get him on the ground. Like he might slip and slide, and but his balance was unreal. Now I don't want to compare anybody to Kamara because he was like Sean got themselves a great back. He slowed down a little bit like all of them do, but look, Pierre Thomas was a guy that was difficult to tackle. He was an undrafted free agent at Illinois that Sean had. He's had good backs. Darren Sproles was a remarkable. He was kind of before Sean got him, he was kind of just a returner. And then they got a third down role for him. And so you kind of don't want to compare him to anybody right now, except that he's going to be difficult to get to the ground. And then what he does after contact, or how he sees the field, or how quickly he finds daylight, we're going to find that out pretty quick. I have a feeling he's going to be pretty special though in this offense because of the continuity they have up front. How they run the ball, they run it from a variety of formations: 2 back, 1 back, spread, under the quarterback underside. They do a lot of different things in the run game. And so I think like his ability to adapt to this is going to be pretty fun to watch.
A cat walking on marble is an all-timer. That one's great. Baldy, shifting gears to PS2. Obviously, at 25 years of age, he's already entered rarefied air as one of a few DBs in NFL history to win Defensive Player of the Year. What does he need to do to take that next step and be one of those handful of all-time great cornerbacks that we're talking about for generations, the Champ Baileys, the Deion Sanders, guys in that Darrelle Revis type of rarefied air?
Well, the interceptions help. 4 last year, the pick 6, like all those, the numbers help for sure. But you can't always, sometimes you don't get a lot of targets. You don't get your hands on a lot. I mean, it just happens. Darrelle Revis didn't have a lot of interceptions, but they didn't catch a lot of passes against him. But regardless, the one thing I love about Patrick is I remember week 4 last year, you guys played the Jets in a rainstorm in New York, and you won the game. I don't even think you scored a touchdown that game, but you won the game. And I remember talking to Patrick before the game. That guy is you can literally have a discussion about anything. He's got a smile on his face. And really, when I say you can have a discussion with Patrick about anything before a game, it's sort of, some guys are tight before a game. Some guys just exude confidence. And that's what Patrick does. He just is a confident guy. Doesn't matter what the assignment was. I've seen him last year on Brock Bowers. Like, okay, here's an elite tight end. You go cover him. I think he loves that, and I think Vance knows that he does. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to. You can't always just travel with guys just because of down distance, time of game. Circumstances can dictate some of that. But the sky's still the limit for him. I mean, he's still a player that is still learning the game. Now, I was a big fan of his father's. His father was more physical than he was. I saw his father knock a guy's tooth right out of his mouth when he was playing in Southern Mississippi. Like I mean, the tooth came flying out. Like wow. So I told that story to Patrick too because he calls him Pops. Great deal of respect for his dad, but I would say the sky's the limit for him. Like I think he can still, because the more you see, the more chances you can take, the better. Your offense is scoring points. You're playing with the lead. Vance's scheme now. Like I just think there's just, as you stay in the system and, you lead the league in sacks last year, all those things help the ball come out faster. Like I think the numbers of interceptions and passes defense, I think all of that can go up for him now.
I absolutely love that. And Baldy, these guys, some of them very personal, like you were talking about with Pat. You've been in an NFL locker room. And so I want to ask you, Bo has really taken a step this year in leadership. This offseason, he's the first one to reach out to Evan Ingram when they're trying to recruit him to Denver. He's the only guy that, from my understanding, that has reached out to every single rookie that the Broncos drafted, welcoming them to Denver. How important is it for him to take that leadership step and really embrace that this is his team, even though he's just a second year in the NFL?
No, it's huge. It's huge. Some guys never learn it. Some guys, got to grow into it. But it sounds like, he understands what his role is. Now, part of that is you play 61 games in college. You play for a couple elite programs at, Auburn, Oregon, whatever. you kind of understand that. But it's different when you come and there's Courtney Sutton and there's some veteran guys around you. Haven't even been in this league for almost 10 years. I mean, that's huge, and the guys recognize that too. It's not like, oh, he's just this is what's expected of him. They recognize that he's now in that leadership role, embraces it, and now is going about his business. Because I think building that camaraderie in the offseason is paramount. And it carries over. I remember distinctly when Troy Aikman came to Dallas in his second year at Valley Ranch, throwing it to Michael Irvin and going against Deion and all the things they were doing in April, way before mini camps or anything else. Like it's important to build that chemistry, that camaraderie, and to do it just naturally. It's coming. This is what I need to do, not because coach wants me to do it or this is what's expected. This is what we need to do, not just me. This is what we need to do as a group.
I love that, Baldy. Final one for you. Do the Broncos, I think NFL teams can get a max of 6 primetime games. Do the Broncos deserve, are they a team that should be close to that, whether it's 6, whether it's 5? Should they be in that upper tier right now? Because obviously locally, everyone has a bias toward them. But nationally, from your perspective, are they a team that could deserve one of those top spots?
No question. No question. I mean, it helps that, Sean spent a year at Fox, was around all those guys because these games are going to all different networks now. They all know Sean. He's a Hall of Fame coach with a Hall of Fame quarterback on his resume and, quickly turning things around. The coaches matter. The players matter. Winning teams matter. Markets matter. Denver's a great market. It's a great home field. It's a great division. It might be the best, as good a division as there is in football right now. Those division games matter. Going up against Kansas City, like on Christmas, like they're going to be right there on the cusp. I remember, a guy that played on the East Coast on a bad team. He's looked at his schedule one day and he told me, he goes, "Man, Baldy, we got all 1:00 games. I get to be at my, my love chair at 4:30 watching the late game every Sunday." Like the Broncos aren't going to be, on the sofa watching the late game on Sundays. They're going to be playing a lot of primetime games. They're right there. Kansas City, Philadelphia. There's some teams that are marquee right now in this league, but I think they're right there at probably 5 and maybe 6.
Man, Baldy, you brought the heat as always. The chat's loving you. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we look forward next week to breaking down the schedule once we have it with you.
Let's do it, man. Let's go find a way to get 12 wins.
Boom. I love it. Thank you, Baldy. Have a great schedule release day tomorrow. Man, Baldy is the absolute best.